Well, today is a Good Friday, celebration of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and of course Easter Sunday is resurrection. And it gives me the opportunity to stay home and work on my airplane. So we're getting to a point where it's important to do some just-in-time management of resources. Up until now, we've just been cutting stock and gluing it and making really nice joints and doing a lot of labor. We have a rack of ribs. And way up there we've got our main spars. But we're running low on glue, and we're getting into resources such as bolts and brackets and different hardware, and then parts that we don't have cut yet. So it's time to do some just-in-time planning. I did order my AN bolts for both spars, and just enough for them, and a few extra, but pretty much I do just in time. Just before I need it, I'll go ahead and order it. Just before I need it, I go ahead and cut it. And I'm going to do the same with the fabric. I'm going to order some fabric, but it'll just be the fabric for the wings, and maybe the tail feathers too. So today we are going to work on the rear spar, which is relatively easy to build, but as you can see here, I'm trying not to get my own shadow. As you can see here, it's pretty simple, and it's 3/8 of an inch high by a 1/2 inch for the caps, but on the top side I will shift this block up maybe 1/8 of an inch, glue it on right about here, and on this side I'm going to cut it on the saw right there. So I'll start off with it like right there, and then I'll put a 15-degree angle on my blade on my table saw and run that through and cut it at that angle on the top side. That makes it so much easier gluing the geodetic on, and your ribs. It just slides right into your ribs, which are going at that angle. And of course, I forgot about the scarf joint. We're still trying to break the wood beyond the glue joint, which is real easy if it's a softer wood, but I'm using this really heavy wood, commercial white ash, which is, in some moduluses, it's for some of them 6 times stronger than the other woods. So that's why I'm having trouble getting it to break before the glue joint. So we'll start with trying to break this here, and I'm not even sure if I can break this. I didn't get it very long before I was breaking it with these blocks clear out here, but let me see if I can do it. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to. There we go. Yep, I'm okay. And looks like a lot of wood. Yeah, the actual glue did not break. It was wood along the scarf joint, but it's significant wood fibers on both sides of it. So for the most part it was all wood breaking. So that was about as strong a joint as we've made using commercial white ash. And you know, as long as I'm using this super strong wood, why not try to get the glue joint just as strong? So if you're going to do that, Might as well take the time, get them perfectly flat, scuff them up good with sandpaper, cross grain, glue both halves, and then clamp them tightly together. And I was hopping pretty hard quite a few times on this to get it to do that. Well, after reviewing things coming up like leading edge material, nose rib material, which is 1/32 plywood, and things like that, fabric, bolts, I've come up with a list, but really for just-in-time purposes, the only thing I need now is the glue, the bolts, and the brackets, which I make from free material. So the bolts I ordered, they were 32 bucks. I put down 30 bucks, but they're 32 bucks. And I got a lot of extra bolts too. And then the washers and nuts, I did 100 packs. And that's why 30 bucks. I like ordering from Aircraft Spruce. It usually gets here. They say 2 days it'll be here, and it's usually, or they say 3 days, and it's usually here within 2 days. So the fabric is going to be double the price because they don't have the fabric, the Dacron that I usually buy, and no future prospects of getting it. So I'm going to have to go to Seekonite or something, and so it's going to be about double the price I'm normally, more than double the price I'm not used to paying. Usually I cover the entire aircraft for $130, but now it's going to be up in the $300 range, it appears, just for the fabric. I already have glue. I have plenty of glue to do the wings, at least. And I mean fabric glue. Definitely don't have enough glue to do the wings as far as gluing up the wood. So I think I'm going to get on cutting my spar caps because we have a wind advisory coming at about noon, and I like to do all my cutting outside. Now, because I am using commercial white ash, and I reduce my size as much as I can, which is 86% in both directions. If I'm only reducing it in one direction, to get the same weight as like Sitka spruce, I have to reduce it 0.7 in one direction, 2.7. And so this 1/2 by 3/8 would be 430 thousandths by 323. A lot of times what I like to do is actually draw that next to the actual, just to get an idea of how big a difference it is, and verify that I don't see an issue with it. And for instance, like with geodetic, you don't want to take away from the 1/8 inch dimension. So since you're going to take it down in just one dimension, it's going to be 70%, and it's a 1/2 inch, so that'd be 350 thousandths. So the geodetic will only be 350 thousandths wide, but it'll be the full 1/8 inch. So if you go much thinner than an 1/8 inch, then it becomes too flexible. But you can reduce it on its 1/2 inch width. That's 350 thousandths wide, and that gives you plenty of strength because it's commercial white ash, and that's the only reason we're reducing it anyway. I'm selecting the wood I'm going to use for my Spar Caps, and let's see, there's a good picture. I got, it varies between 8 and 10 growth circles, growth lines per inch. This here's only 7/8 wide, so and I'm counting 8 to 9 growth rings. And it's only 5 feet, so I'll have to cut 3 pieces in length per cap per wing. So I'll need 12 pieces. Well, I'm trying to beat the wind advisory, but I don't know if I'm doing it. It's getting extremely windy already, so wouldn't even be able to set my camera up. So just know I'm gonna cut the spar caps, and I'm doing it with this shorter board, so I'm gonna have to splice it 3 times per spar cap. Okay, it's so windy out there. I was actually getting my sticks blown right off my table saw as I got them done. So we've got 915 thousandths. So we're going to cut this 9 inches and 150, or just over 9 inches long, the scarf joint. I decided to go 10 to 1. If the wood's going to be strong enough to, you know, that you're going to need that long of a scarf, yeah, I'm going to go 10 to 1 on this commercial white ash. So if the wood is good, both pieces all the way to the end, you just need to measure half of that, so 4.5 inches, and we'll go just beyond that by 1/8. Just make sure we, right there, so that's where you can line up the other piece at. But the scarf will actually blend right in here. 10 to 1 is 5.7 degrees, so we'll just get a ballpark of where these are going to cross over and how far they're going to go. Right about there on this one. There's my pencil. I know the Muffin Man. Grandkids are always asking if I know the Muffin Man. Of course I know the Muffin Man. Okay. I'm the Muffin Man? Oh, he's the Muffin Man. Oh, I am. Yeah, well, you know I am. All right. So, 5.7 degrees, and there, now we know where we want to push these to. Yeah. Right about there. I'll clamp them down there. Alright, so I got it clamped down, and this here is a lot steeper angle than I normally do, but it's still shallower than the 15 to 1. And I can see why 15 to 1 would have been recommended for, especially back in the military area, World War I and World War II era. And, well, since we have to do multiple splices before we glue up, we're going to label these right across the splice. So we'll call this one 1A. And we need 49 more inches. So I'll vacuum this off. I'll line this up, and this here one will work just fine for the next splice. Well, I decided just to make one spar at a time, and just glue up 2 places. That makes it plenty long enough. And then the 2 end pieces, I spliced them together and just to do a test. And perhaps that's small enough. If I grab a weight from work, or if I find one out in the shed, I can use my drop tester. But right now I'm excited to get up to Erie, because a friend of mine in Erie has a FP202, and I've never seen one in real life, so I'm excited about that. So more spars after I get back.